Hello and welcome to True Audio Files. And today we're going to talk about something interesting, but I want to start off by talking about something that all of you longtime listeners all you longtime watchers of this channel are probably going to get sick and tired of hearing this, and I'll probably stop soon. But I wanted to, promote my Facebook group. I don't make any money off of it. It's purely for entertainment and for joy. Basically, it's for anyone on Facebook, but also, for people like-minded people who want to talk about records or music or, equipment or anything you want to talk about audio related is welcome on that channel, or I should say in that group. And it's a public group, at least for now. We've got a good ramp up. It started to slow down over the past couple weeks, but I think it's just because I haven't had incredibly popular videos the past couple of weeks. So anyways, it's True Audio Files Facebook group. You can do a search under, the spelling of the name that you see here on YouTube, or I will also have a link to it in my description for you. And also, as a reminder, or for those who are new to the channel, the records behind me are records that are new releases, whether they be reissues or new titles. I had one other one that was up here, but I know that my YouTube video would have been taken off because of some nudity that was on the cover, so it stayed off. But I also have a couple of classic vinyl series Blue Note titles that are coming in the mail today that just haven't arrived yet, so those are a couple new releases as well. So the only brand new album is the new Def Leppard, which quite frankly I overpaid for, using my normal rule of thumb, but I'll get into the reason why a little bit in my topic. But it was still cheaper than just about anywhere else at Target, and it's a Target exclusive with a colored vinyl. So for today, I'm talking about Universal Music Group, who owns a lot of different artist titles, is raising their prices on vinyl, and in some cases dramatically. You may have seen some YouTube videos about it already and some news stories in general about it, but for those of you who haven't, I don't think it's every single title, but most titles are getting a price increase. Some are only like $2, $3, $4, which is kind of your traditional price raise, especially given the circumstances with the supply chain and cost of goods and things on that nature. But some of it isn't, although it's sort of kind of tied into that, and I'll explain that later. But things like, for example, a lot of the Beatles titles, I don't know if it's all of them, but a lot of them, or most of them, are going up an additional $10. So their regular retail price was $26, and now they're going to be $36. Rolling Stones, a lot of their titles are getting bumped up $5. The biggest one that I heard about was Kanye West College Dropout. And I believe it retails for $30, and they are going to be raising that to $45. From what I can gather, a majority, basically, I believe the titles that they are increasing in price are all their most popular titles. So you can kind of see why they're doing it, because it's their most popular titles. But I also think there's more to it than that. And I don't necessarily, I think it's a purposeful way to reduce the number of sales but still maintain the sales revenue. And what I mean by that is, maybe they'll get a 30% drop in number of records, Beatles records being sold, but they're still going to maintain the same sales. And I think by doing that, they hope to alleviate some of the bottleneck that's happening in the record pressing plants. I'm just making assumptions here. This is purely speculative try to say that several times fast. I think it's purely speculative on my part, but I believe that this is part of the reason for doing this is kind of twofold. One is, I think they're having a hard time getting these records repressed in the volume numbers that they want to be able to keep up with demand. So in turn, they're raising the price, which should lower the unit number sales, but still maintain the dollar value. What I think will probably end up happening is it might do what they're hoping it's going to do, which is maintain sales volume, but in terms of revenue, but dollar amount, but lower volume in terms of unit sales. And so it wouldn't visually, it would look like you're not hurting top line sales. But I think in the long run, it could potentially damage sales of vinyl in general. I think people will start staying away from them, especially when records are $35 to $45. I mean, there are very rare exceptions to a rule that I've had in place that I'm now modifying a little bit. And that is, generally speaking, I won't spend more than $30 on a new release single record. And I'll occasionally will think about spending 35-ish on a double album. And again, there are exceptions to that rule. Usually they are when I know the history of the actual pressing, like who cut the record, where it was pressed, the quality of the recording, things like that. So for example, let's just say hypothetically, I know it was pressed at QRP and Bernie Grundman cut it, as just an example. Then I will be more likely to spend $40 or $50 on, like, let's say a dual record set, or if it's a MoFi title, obviously, and especially the super vinyl, where I know it's on probably one of the best vinyl materials for records, and the history of the mastering and things like that. But overall, my general rule of thumb has been $30 maximum for a single record release, and $35 for a dual record. But because of what's going on in the industry and in the world, all the prices are going up, and as you've heard, Universals in some cases are going way up. So, I'm probably going to modify that where I might bump it to $35 and $40. But I'll probably also be I'll probably be more picky about the record purchases I purchase. Because in a lot of cases, if it was like a $25 record or something like that, I'd probably be more, or $20 record, I'd probably be more likely to buy it. And maybe I'll wait for sales to come up when they do. Like my local store today had a 20% off all vinyl, including sale vinyl. So I got some great titles there. So at great deals, or at least much better than what they were. So that's kind of my story on that. That's kind of my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and what you think about these drastic record price hikes. Do you think it's really do you think it's going to long term hurt vinyl sales? I think that there's a possibility that what might happen is, if there's a big backlash from these price increases, you might see Universal roll back the pricing a little bit, because I know they've done that in the past. One example that I heard about, which I've seen as an example, because I'm a KISS fan, is a lot of their KISS reissues. I think they were retailing for like $35 or more, but they dropped the price of them because they just weren't selling. So you might start seeing that, if people are not going to spend $36 on a Rolling Stones record or a Beatles record or a Kanye West record for $45, you might see them bump them back a little bit. Maybe it won't go back to what it was. Like maybe the Beatles records will go to like $31 or $30 instead of the $36 they were, and maybe the Kanye will go down to $39 instead of $45. You probably won't see them go all the way back, but I think they're just going to play around with the numbers to see what's going to sell in the marketplace, and we'll see what happens. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's going to kill off the record revolution that's happening right now, or do you think it's just so strong that it probably will not make that much of an impact? Leave your comments in the comments section. If you liked what you saw here, hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know when my new videos come out, hit that alert bell. And check me out on social media. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, especially the Facebook group that I talked about earlier. We are getting some good feedback back and forth. We're probably getting a couple posts a day, but would love to see more than that. But beggars can't be choosers. But I will try to post more on there when I can. And that is everything I've got for today. Thank you very much, and you have a great one.